It's WrestleMania season.
Damn right.
We are on the road, too. We just finished up, what was it, a week or two ago, the big Sami Zayn fest coming through Montreal and Ottawa.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that was...
It was a scene.
It was a scene. And the crowd, as Montreal crowds tend to be
They delivered.
for their own, it was as hot as anything they've done in a while. I wondered what they would do coming out of it. Like, could you depend on Sami being as over in Des Moines, Iowa for a random Raw as he was in Montreal? What have you made of that storyline? Obviously, they have now shifted attention to Cody Rhodes and Roman for the title. Yep. The talk was always that Sami would then shift into a tag title thing. Do you still think that's where we're going at this point? And what have you made of the rise of Sami Zayn?
I will say that I commend WWE for sticking with the plan and going with Cody. And that is no fault to WWE.
No.
Cody Rhodes is...
They have been very careful, though, not to...
They've been careful and smart about it at the same time.
Don't turn him heel by having him step on... Like, they've showed them kind of getting along and wishing each other luck. And, like, they are worried about that a little.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Before we kind of preview what's to come at Mania, I loved the play. It was a week or two before the Rumble where they had Cody and Sami do a face-to-face. Yep. When, in recent memory, can you remember of WWE always likes to, when the crowd is getting behind something, they try and push it to the side.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, the perfect example.
Yeah. You will cheer for what we tell you to cheer for.
Exactly. In this instance, they put the hottest babyface in the company in Sami.
Yeah.
Against, I think, the most overall top babyface in the business right now in Cody.
The guy, yep.
And instead of keeping them separate and never mentioning them together, they put them face to face and let them cut a promo together, and it worked out so well.
It really did.
It
came off great.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
They go into the match at Chamber. The match was good.
Yeah.
The match was very good.
Did it ever hook you? Did you ever go, they might do this?
I don't think I believed.
No.
I don't think I believed that they would do it.
I wanted to so bad.
I wanted them to too, but I think that's from, and I don't think that WWE is wrong for not.
I don't either.
For not doing it, even though
we're
how
a month
badly
out of WrestleMania,
from your
the story
biggest
we're
show.
Trying to tell.
Regardless of how many people wanted it so badly, even if it's regionalized, in terms of the Northeast Canada mostly. They stuck with their plan, and that's fine. I get it.
100%, because we've criticized them for the opposite in the past.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And I will commend them again for the pivot that they've done with Sami in terms of how they've made his next storyline matter so much, and that is him against the Usos, particularly Jey Uso.
100%.
This past Monday on Raw. I haven't seen... I don't know anything that happened on SmackDown because that happened... what day is it? Saturday. So, Friday. Yeah. Friday Night SmackDown on Sportsnet 360. I don't know anything that happened. But Monday night on Raw, the end of Raw where they had Jey super kick Sami. Yeah. It was fucking heartbreaking. Yeah. It was great though. Like, it was incredible storylining. Mm-hmm. It helped set up the next storyline. They've done so well with involving KO, Kevin Owens, just a little bit here and there to try and sway Sami away. Now he can always say, I was right the whole time because I knew that they would turn on you. Yep. And now Sami's going to have to try and convince KO to join him for a tag title match at Mania against the Usos. And like, that makes so much sense. Of course. Would I have loved Sami to be in like a triple threat match for the Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania? Yes. Yeah. Of course I would. I would love Sami to do that, and I would love Sami to win that championship. Sure. It'd be super dope. Does it make more sense to have a one-on-one match, Cody and Roman Reigns, the two biggest stars in pro wrestling right now, arguably? I don't know. You could throw in Moxley, probably, Omega, MJF, yada, yada, whatever. Yep. For argument's sake, it's Cody, it's Roman. Everything that they've done, they being WWE, pronouns, pal, everything that they've done makes sense. And I can get behind, and I like it. Particularly with those two programs. There's a lot around the edges in WWE that I'm not super fond of, but everything that they've done with Sami, with Cody, with Roman, I like it, I get it, and I subscribe to everything.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, and I did get hooked. There was, as I was watching the match, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
The Sami versus Roman match.
Yeah.
So I was watching it, for whatever reason, and they told a great story, but my belief faded. But it was more the night before on SmackDown when the crowd's giving them the olays and the whatever, and they play that perfectly. Just let the crowd build him and build him and build him, and they got me. Like, they might do this. They might do this.
I'm with you, and it made sense too, just based on the fact that like maybe somebody in WWE, the powers that be, Triple H, saw the groundswell, saw the fact that this crowd was so hot for Sami
in his hometown. You will create a moment that will live on forever, right?
And think of you also think anytime you think WWE, you think of like what they're going to run in video packages.
Yes, exactly.
The video package that would accompany Sami winning that championship in his hometown would be akin to Daniel Bryan winning WrestleMania 30.
That's exactly it. And so as I'm going through it and I'm watching the match on the Saturday night, there was nothing wrong with the match, but my belief sort of faded. Like, okay, I can see what they're doing here, how they're building this. And Roman's been champ for 3 years now, basically.
Over 800 days.
Right.
Yeah.
They got to get to the finish line with him. It just sort of dawned on me. And
Agreed.
And that'll be with Cody, and that's going to be awesome too. But they're not going to pull the trigger here. But
Agreed.
Man, it's been so long. It's been so long since I cared that much. Maybe since Daniel Bryan in 2014. And I wonder if we can kind of tie this in together. Last summer, we saw Vince McMahon step away, and we don't have to get into all the reasons. We did, actually, last summer when you were on. We talked about it all then.
That's right.
And ever since, Triple H has been running the show creatively. And I wonder if there's things that you've watched since. Is this us putting our... finally a new page, like we're doing something different? Are we looking at this through, shinier, happier, rose-colored glasses? Or is there things that you're seeing that you go, that would never have happened before, the way they're telling stories now? This is clearly a new direction.
I would say yes and no. Okay. I think there are examples of both. The example I would say yes was I mentioned putting Cody and Sami in the same ring together, not keeping them separate. I think that before... they wouldn't even come close. They wouldn't have been mentioned in the same breath because you didn't want the crowd being reminded that Sami Zayn exists.
Right.
Like, no. He's over here. Cody's over this way. Keep them totally separate.
Yeah. We want guys cheering for the guy we want to cheer. And if we put this other guy in there with them, they might boo our guy. And they just put them right in front of each other.
It's much less being forced down your throats at that point. And it's also trusting Cody that he will be able to sway the crowd.
Yep.
And he can with his promo ability.
That's right.
He certainly can. There are other times I look and I'm just like, ugh. It's, in my own living room, I'm starting like the same old shit. Like I'm starting that chant.
Sure.
I don't know. Like on Raw Monday, I found myself like fast forwarding through a bunch. They had like some just what felt like a meaningless several matches. And I was like, oh, whatever. And
right.
What was weird? I remember one part that was weird. The John Cena Austin Theory had a square off, and Cena like eviscerated Theory with his promo ability.
Apart,
Oh my God, he ripped him apart. And it's like, like Austin Theory is supposed to be someone? Like John Cena just said no.
Yeah. Don't need to watch that match.
At the end of it, Cena's leaving, and he gets close to the back, and he goes, "Oh wait. Like, now I want to introduce you to, like, the American Nightmare." And, like, Cody Rhodes comes out, and he's like, "Yeah." And I was just like, oh, that was weird. And then then they went to break. And then I was expecting to come back from break and Cody be in the ring. But then, like, he was just gone, and they were on to a match. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that was weird.
It reminds me of Stephen A. Smith telling you he's best friends with Gary Bettman.
Yeah.
Look, I like Cody. Please don't Cena him up for me.
You know what was funny is... Cody goes, or Cena goes, he was trying to say, who is ready for the main event? And he was going to say Cody Rhodes is. And he goes, the Nightmare.
Oh.
The American Nightmare. And I was like, I kind of played that off all right.
Yeah.
It's like Cody Rhodes, and Cody came out and like they shook hands and yada yada. And then they went to break, and then they were on to a match after that. And I was like, that was a weird way to just show those two together.
See, in the same way that you're saying, and I agree with you, that it was good that they put Sami and Cody in the ring together.
Yeah.
The crowd's hit and miss on Cena. Like, I don't know that I want to rub him up against Cody right now, right? Cody's doing his own thing. Cena's kind of I don't know.
Cena feels, I don't know for you maybe, but for me, Cena feels different now. He doesn't feel like the 2010 Cena where the crowd is legitimately split. Right. I feel like Cena,
a legend now. He's that.
He's a legend. He's a nostalgia act.
Okay.
Which is, he comes back, cuts a fun promo. He's really good at it.
Yes.
And that's it. And you're like, cool. It was fun to see him. And also, I will say that I also recently watched Peacemaker, his show.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a comic book guy whatsoever. No. I've barely seen like any comic book movies.
I'm the same there. Yeah. So I didn't know this was a thing, to be honest with you.
So it's a spin-off of Suicide Squad.
Okay.
So he was in the second Suicide Squad movie. He comes. I don't know what the hell he does. I haven't seen the second Suicide Squad. I watched the first one because they filmed it in Toronto, and I wanted to see the Toronto landmarks.
Yeah, why not?
The second one, he's in it, does something, gets his own show from it. The show was fucking amazing. It was incredible. Yeah. It's rated R, which is weird. Like the second episode, like John Cena is like just.
Oh, it's a show, not a movie.
It's a show.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The second episode, John Cena like takes a chick home from the bar, and then one of the scenes, he's just like railing her from behind. You're like, what is this? John Cena?
This is not PG.
Yeah, hustle, loyalty, respect. It was a hilarious show. I will recommend that. So
having an attitude adjustment of sorts.
Of sorts. Yeah. So having watched that show and then Cena now, I'm like, I don't know. I have a lot more respect for Cena now. I feel like that was actually a hilarious show. So yeah, Cena feels like more of a nostalgia at this point.
Yeah.
I understand your point of like, you know, do people really like Cena? Do you want to put him together with Cody? I can understand why they did it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a weird way to do it.
So outside of the main event, and I am looking forward to Cody Roman. I think
so am I.
I think that's going to be awesome. Other things that they're building towards Mania. What do you got your eye on? What's got your attention that might be really good?
Well, the eventual KO Sami versus Usos match, like for sure, I'm going to be all in on that.
Yeah. Are they going to be able to transfer all that excitement into the tag picture, which now the Usos have held those belts forever as well. So that's become a thing. They've done a nice job building that back up. Or do you think fans will see this as a step down? And
no, I think that fans will get behind it, especially because of how well WWE did in playing up the camaraderie, the love between Jay and Sami.
Yeah.
And now that Jay has turned on Sami.
Yeah.
And chosen his brother. Exactly. Yeah, that bastard. I think that really helps. And I think that once KO agrees to be Sami's partner, you know, I can imagine that'll be very heartfelt and nice. And they'll play up like 2 years ago at WrestleMania. It was Sami versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And now they're together, you know, the forever frenemies.
Because the whole story has been Sami trying to warm up to the bloodline, trying to be friends with Roman and the Usos, and KO tell him, hey, they're using you.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't going to work.
Exactly. Like, I was right the whole time.
Yeah. And at the Rumble, KO gets worn the fuck out by like all this. And so KO finally comes back to Sami and says, I told you so, right? Like when Sami says, why don't we go together and take them down? KO goes, get lost. I told you.
I'm on my own now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So obviously, between now and Mania, they'll tie them back together and do this tag title match. That will be awesome.
And I feel like there's an element, too, of you'll be able to tell the storyline of the disintegration of the bloodline at the same time.
Yep.
Because you can say if Roman loses, if the Usos lose, there's already been fractures. Now you'll get to see the full collapse of it.
Yes.
Which will be even more interesting at that point.
I agree.